Introduction. Tourism is the one of the world's most important and fastest growing industry. Therefore, Brazil has social, cultural, economic, environmental impact. However, Brazil has a huge problem with the child prostitution and the sale of children.
Hi, I'm going to talk about the social cultural impact of tourism industry of Brazil. Tourism industry in Brazil is one of the world's most important, fastest growing industry with a gross output of over $7 trillion per year. Tourism is a sector that encompasses an extremely diverse range of markets. So one of the main products that Brazil can offer and in the tourism sector are travel accommodation, transportation, restaurant, cafes, car rental, travel retail, local retail, and tourist attraction. In Brazil, tourism activities are essentially carried out by the private sector. So one of the leading companies in the sector are Accor Hotels Brazil, Patek, a locally separated car, Carson Wagon Travel, the agency CBC, and the social-cultural impact. So this can affect the culture of the people in its actions, emotion, and satisfaction. So one of the main positive social-cultural impacts are generation of new jobs, improvement of the population income, conservation of the landscape, architectonic patrimony, reaffirmation of the local cultural identity, and the cultural interchange. So one of the main negative cultural impacts are excessive commercialization of products, loss of authenticity, in a cultural in manifestation, loss of cultural identity, modification in conception standards, awaken economic, increase of resident seasonal population, consequent loss of life quality, and increase of social problems like use of drugs, crimes, and prostitution. So this is my presentation. I am Andrea Stephanie Flores. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Karina Lopez, and right now I'm going to talk about economic impact in Brazil. So the tourism industry is the most important economic activity in the country. So that is why Brazil is the country that received the highest number of the international tourists, over than 30% in South America. So the GDP result in Brazil is in 2006 was estimated in 2.8%. In 2016 was estimated at 4.5%, but in total was 8.5%. Brazil has more than 7 million jobs over the 10 years. So the last year, Brazil had 270.5 billion. So right now, Brazil only has 165.5 billion. So that means Brazil lost 38.9% of the GDP because of the COVID-19. So thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Ana Castillo and I'm going to talk about environmental impacts in Brazil. First of all, this country counts with the 60% of the Amazon rainforest. So it's really important for the tourists to go, not because of the festival, not because of the parties, but because of the natural resources. But everything good has a bad part, and they have a lot of environment bad impacts, are pollution of water, air, noise. This city is really stunning, so visual alteration is a lot of bad impacts. Also basic sanitation. There are some poor cities as the favelas that they doesn't have so much resources even when there's a lot of tourism over there, and that is called sometimes predatory tourism because are those tourist people have that doesn't follow rules sometimes, and that create damage in Brazil. So there are some good, for example, the Amazon 60% is a huge impact, but there's a lot of bad impacts in Brazil.
In conclusion, we can rectify that the Brazilian tourism industry is essential in socio-cultural, economic, and environmental areas in which they have positively and negatively affected of the culture of the inhabitants of Brazil. They has been influenced actions, emotions, and dissatisfactions. The social culture has been influenced in a positive and a negative way, in which we should mention the reformation of local cultural identity and cultural interchange. And the negative side is loss of authenticity in cultural manifestation and cultural identity. On the other hand, we have the impact in the Brazilian economy. It is worth mentioning that thanks to the tourism industry sector, it has been the generator of indirect jobs that support the industry, which provides more than 7 million jobs in 2016 and grew to 9 million for the year 2018 due to the tourist activities that they grant to tourists from different countries. Finally, we had the environmental impact of Brazil. We had positive aspects such as conservation of important natural areas and negative aspects such as pollution of water, air, noise, and visual alteration. The impact it has generated in Brazil has been responsible for giving it both positive and negative aspects by the tourism industry. As a group, we want to say thank you so much for your time and for your attention. We wish you a happy day and greetings.